Hello guys, welcome back to the Code with Toyin YouTube channel, and in this video we want to talk about the list tags in HTML. So we have two basic list tags in HTML. We have the ordered list and we have the unordered list. The ordered list helps us to display a list in an orderly manner, meaning we are going to be having the 1, the 2, the 3, and so on like that. To make an ordered list in HTML, we need the OL tag. OL tag will be holding the list itself, and then each of the lists are going to be listed using the LI tag. Let me quickly make the 1, 2, 3. I want to duplicate the LI tag. I don't want to copy and paste. So I'll use this VS Code shortcut of pressing Shift, Alt, and then a down arrow button. That will duplicate the line I'm currently on. To preview this, I go to my browser and then I see the list 1, 2, 3 listed in my browser. Continuing with an unordered list in HTML. An unordered list makes a list without giving them numbers. So we have the UL tag to make that and each of the lists inside of it. Viewing this in my browser, I see the 1, 2, 3 like that without having numbers. So what if we are to change the order of this list? Like the 3 is going to move into the 2. Without me copying and pasting, I'll use this VS Code shortcut by pressing Alt and the up arrow direction. This will switch the position. And I do the same thing for the ordered list, and let's see what happens. So the ordered list have 1, 2, 3 numbering, but the words are not correlating with the number. Whereas the unordered list have 1, 2, 3, 2 without any order format. So guys, that is all about list tags in HTML. Next, we'll talk about the table tag. Let's talk about the table tag in HTML. To understand the table tag, let's draw out our table. Then we have each of the rows in the table. Table tag would be holding everything inside of the table, while each of the rows in the table would be represented by TR. The data will be represented by TD, and for the top of the table, we'll be having the TH. So the table is the parent tag, the TR is the child inside the table tag, and TD and TH are the children of the TR tag. Let's type this out. First, we have our table. And then we have the first row in the table, which would be holding the table heads. So let me input some data, name, height, and gender. Let's label this top row to be the first row or the table heading. And then for the subsequent rows, we'll be having TD inside of them. So quickly, let me generate this data of short people with name, height, and gender. So we have the table right here. To represent the table, let me just draw a table over this, and we see it as a table like that. And the table head is in bold format. We can attach an attribute of border 1 to the table, and it gives every element in the table a border. This is all for table in HTML. Next, we will talk about forms. In this video, let's talk about the form tags in HTML. The form is very important in HTML because it helps the visitor of the website to communicate with the website. You would have seen lots of forms in the website, especially if it requires login or registration. A form tag has a couple of other children tags inside of it, like the label, the input, the text area, the select, We have different kinds of input tags in forms. We have the file, the text, the radio, button, a lot of many other different inputs. We'll be talking about this later in the video. So we have the form tag to be the parents and all of this to be the children. Let's type this out. We have the label for tag. We don't need the 4 attributes for now, so I remove it. I input name to be the label, and next I'll be having the text input. So this is how it looks like on the browser. Before we move on, let's talk about the break tags in HTML. So the break tag is very important if you want to break something in your HTML. So in the middle of this text, let me add a break tag here, and you will see the text broke into the middle. Forget about how it looks like in the VS Code, but in the browser it broke in the browser. So I have the break tag there. You can use as much break tag you want to use. I would have a different label and name it email, and have an input for that beside it. So we see the label and the input on the same line. This means that there are inline elements. So I add a break tag there to break it. You can add as many break tags as you want. Speaking more about the input tag in HTML, to select different kind of types of inputs, we go into the type attributes, and because I'm using VS Code, I can use the shortcut of Ctrl and space. It will bring out different options of input type that I have. So first I select the button type. That will just be a normal button. I use the checkbox type. A normal checkbox you would have seen a lot in different websites. The date input displays the current date for us, and we can pick different dates. The important one of the file input. This open up your local storage on your device and select a file. So I had a lot of these different inputs explained in the video, but to make the video shorter, I have to cut all of them away. So one more important input we want to talk about is the number input. This only accepts numbers from the user, does not allow the user typing any other thing. Let's also talk about the select tag in an HTML. We have the select tag. It's going to look like a drop down with different options. So first I would add the first option. We don't need the value attribute yet. We don't need that for now. I add the option 1 there. I see the drop down with only 1 option. So I add a couple of more options to it, and there we see the drop down with different options. But what if I want to make an option there but unselectable? It should only show in the first time. There I have it. I will add the selected attributes and the disabled attributes to the first option, and only when we refresh on the page we will see the selected option. Let's also talk about the button tag in HTML. If a button is in a form tag, it's going to act as a submit button to the form. So if I type in something in the form and I press on the submit button to submit. But what if I don't want to click on the submit button before it submits? I can just press enter and it will submit. So if the button is inside of a form, I'm going to add an attribute of type submit to it. So as I type into the input, I hit the enter, it submits into the website. I don't need to press on the submit button. A button can also exist outside of a form, but it's not going to do anything. It's just going to be a normal button. It's just there to click. It does not interact with the form. Even if you add a attribute type of submit to it, it is still not going to interact with the form. Only a button that is inside of the form interact with the form. Don't forget to like the video and click on the subscribe button so we can bring more content to you. Bye!